If you've been in a collision, and after you've made sure, of course, and most importantly, that everybody is safe, it's very important to collect evidence that can assist with any type of a case. There are many different types of evidence that can be used to establish a personal injury claim. Some examples of that type of evidence would be taking photographs of the damage to the vehicle, documenting the road conditions, photographs of the road conditions. These conditions can change over time. For example, in the context of a motor vehicle collision in a construction area, the construction may have an impact on how that collision took place, and by photographing it, it preserves the conditions as to how they looked and makes it easier to recreate them. Or with the roadway in general, if there are changes made to the roadway or the stop sign configurations. After the fact, it's sometimes harder to explain or establish what the conditions were like without that kind of evidence. The presence of surveillance cameras and technology as a whole has really impacted what we do to a great degree. With surveillance cameras being so prevalent, or now, car computers, there's a lot of data that we can try to acquire to assess and evaluate these types of cases. And so now where we would use verbal testimony to describe how a collision occurred, if we can find actual surveillance footage of it or data related to the collision, that can make a great impact on a case. The important part of that is that that information has to be preserved. Oftentimes that information, if it's in a private business, they may not even know the importance of it, and if it isn't preserved, it can be destroyed after a short time. Sometimes that even requires getting a court order. One type of surveillance footage is footage not only from businesses or street corners, but now in actual vehicles. And with public bodies, police cars, public transportation, even school buses will now much more routinely run surveillance or cameras. There's a wide array of methods to acquire that information, but if it's a public body, that may be as simple as issuing what we call a Freedom of Information Act request. That information can be crucial to motor vehicle collisions. We've even seen it become widely discussed in other areas of the law as it relates to law enforcement, but getting that information in a timely manner can be very critical, and in some cases it may, as I discussed earlier, require a court order. In terms of a client's injuries, what I always tell my clients is take care of yourself first and foremost. And as part of doing that, there's a partnership between the patient and the doctor, and the best thing that you can do is communicate with your doctor and let them know the difficulties that you're having as part of that partnership so that they can try to make you as good as they can given the situation. However, I like to use the phrase that a picture or even a video is worth 1,000 or even 1,000,000 words. And so where you have an injury and you feel that it's been wrongly caused, even before you talk with a lawyer, it's a wise idea to try and document that with photographs or video so that after the fact we can really demonstrate the difficulties that a person has been through. Documentation of medical injuries really covers a wide range of scenarios, but in caring and treating for a condition, your doctor will document what your injuries are, and it's important you are honest and forthright with your doctor on the difficulties that you're having. But it's also a good idea to document them yourselves. And after talking with a lawyer, you can create a diary to describe what problems that you're having on a regular basis, but it would probably be wise to talk with a lawyer before doing that. Oftentimes, after a motor vehicle collision, an opposing driver's insurance company will reach out to the injured person to try and take a recorded statement of that person. As to the other driver's insurance, you don't have a duty to cooperate with them. And oftentimes the reason that they want to discuss the case with you is to try and see if there's some way that they can defeat a future personal injury claim. So my suggestion would be that if you believe that you have a personal injury claim and that you are going to consult with an attorney, that you avoid giving any kind of a recorded statement to the opposing insurance company before you consult with an attorney. You always have a responsibility and a duty to cooperate with your own insurance company, but again, if you're going to communicate with an attorney, you can ask him or her those same questions. As vehicles become more modern and technology advances, in today's modern times, most vehicles, and when I say vehicles, it even includes from cars to trucks to airplanes, have computers that regulate and control their systems and actually save and record information about what the vehicle is doing at moments in time. And so if we get involved in a case soon enough and the facts and the injuries are such that would make that information important, we can oftentimes, through the court system, get the necessary orders to be able to download that information, and oftentimes it can be very important to establishing a personal injury case. In protecting your rights following a motor vehicle collision, the first and foremost important thing is to take care of yourself, your family, and remove yourself from the danger of a motor vehicle collision. But after that happens, these cases can have sometimes minor impacts on a person's life, all the way to severe and significant impacts on their life, where it can affect their ability to provide for their family, affect their ability to move or do things in life. And because of that, considerations have to be made early on. While it's sometimes difficult after someone suffers an injury to think about the concept of a claim or a lawsuit, but by doing it early, we can often get information and evidence that can help a person's family down the road. But to do that, the person has to start on it sooner rather than later, because oftentimes that evidence or information can be destroyed.